Hello there, I'm Callum and welcome to another figure review. Now, last time I did the Stormtrooper Commander, which was really good for doing some videography and photography, but next, I'm going to talk about the other new EU figures that I pretty much just got. Like, it's been a couple of days just because I've had things on and stuff before I recorded this, but yes, here it is. So I have now got the Shadow Stormtrooper, they're the pop vinyls, of course. And then also the Knights of the Old Republic, Revan and Malak. So that's pretty cool. I really like we're getting some new EU figures, especially in this time, to be able to give us something to talk about as well. So initially, I think I'm going to start with the Shadow Stormtrooper and then go to the KOTOR ones. But I want to sort of say, I'm not the hugest fan of pop vinyl figures. I sort of had a fad at one point where I collected a bunch of them, but they all end up looking very similar to me. And they're sort of weird because they look like bobbleheads, but they're not bobbleheads, and it's like, oh, well, yeah. They're a bit odd in that regard, but I like, for these ones, how they're not faces as well, fully. And so they have some defining features, which I think is also something to say about the character design for KOTOR as well, especially for Revan and Malak, of course. Right, yes, so the Shadow Stormtrooper. Actually, I was just noticing on the back of this, it has that this is a set of 4 with a hooded Yoda. Now, I think initially the hooded Yoda, someone else was mentioning in a video that they're getting it because they think it's EU, because the only time Yoda had his hood up was in the Clone Wars Micro series by Genndy Tartakovsky. But I opted not to really get that because they could have just wanted to do a hooded Yoda for all I know, because you can see Yoda has the hood in the movies and all that. And it doesn't look like the darker cloak that he wears in the Micro series, so I can't directly connect it to that, so that's why I opted not to get that one. But yeah, so first the Shadow Stormtrooper. I'll see if I can take it out of its box. I don't usually take the pops out of their box because I just like preserving them, but they can do this and be repackaged, I believe. Wait, it's a bobblehead. It is a bobblehead! Yay! No, they're too low. If I do this. And then move this back. It's a bobblehead. So yeah, the Shadow Stormtrooper, I mean, it's a pop vinyl, it has no movement on it, and it's just made for show, but it's a bobblehead. I didn't know that. Looking through here, the actual helmet and everything is actually semi-transparent, which is actually a really cool idea for the Shadow Stormtrooper, because it goes invisible, of course, in The Force Unleashed. Of course, if you didn't know, this is based off of The Force Unleashed. But yeah, you know, I have actually never taken them out of the box to see if they were bobbleheads. Fun times, but yes. So it does have a little spring inside and that, but yeah, that's cool. But yeah, the thing is just the whole look of them was a bit of a fad for me at one point. And so I got a bunch of them, including the other one that was the Shadow Guard from The Force Unleashed. And I'll probably bring that up again a bit later because there's a thing on my mind that I do want to talk about with that. But for now, that's cool. So we've got the little Shadow Stormtrooper, which I think there's not too much to talk about on the end there. I'm going to just put this box back together so I can sand things up. And then we have Darth Revan. Now we're going to see if Darth Revan is a bobblehead, because that may actually be a feature just of the Stormtrooper or something. No, it looks like he's a bobblehead too. I never realised Why am I so silly? Yay, bobblehead. So the interesting part about this Revan figure is a lot of the time you get normal sort of ways they hold the lightsaber forwards. But Revan with his second lightsaber is using a backhanded Shien sort of hold, which is actually pretty cool. So they put some fun with Revan there. And then, last but not least, we have Malak. So, yeah, so looking at him, he's bobblehead. I mean, it's Revan. There's not too much else to say on top of the Shadow Trooper. It's notable that he has his lightsaber in a different hold. That's about it. And we get Malak. They are bobbleheads. May try and cut that whole thing. And we get Malak, which he's cool. He's holding his hand out like some sort of, he's firing his lightning or whatever, I guess. And what's interesting is they sort of have his cloak where it's not fully down his back, but it's got there. I mean, I don't actually, in the version of KOTOR I had, I don't remember him having a cloak on his outfit. So interesting, but yes, that's a good way of doing it. And we have Revan and Malak. Malak is very bright just because of the way the lamp is to light me. And we also have the Shadow Trooper, which... So there's a lot of fans of KOTOR, and The Force Unleashed is still fairly popular for people actually asking for a remake of it in some way, shape or form generally, or asking for The Force Unleashed 3, which I thought is interesting. But the thing I want to talk about with these is each of the boxes and how they're labelled. So there's a special edition sticker on these, which I guess means like they're the GameStop exclusives over in America, or we get the GameStop exclusives at Zing here in Australia. But apart from that, the one thing I have a little bit of concern about is, I will just show the Darth Revan because they're all the same. The box just says Darth Revan. Now you might think, what's wrong with that? Well, there is a slight concern there that may be valid, may not be valid, but I think it's valid to bring up, is that when the Imperial Guard came out, it had Legends, Imperial Shadow Guard, or whatever the exact naming of it was. It was the counterpart to the Shadow Trooper, to be honest. Yay, bobbleheads. So yeah, there's that. And these don't have legends on them. These don't specifically say that they're from the expanded universe, I should say. But they put the Legends label on things that have been officially re-released, like reprinted, and then Marvel 108 had the Legends branding on it. And when the Imperial Shadow Guard came out, he actually had the whole thing of what, I'm fiddling with these too much. He had the Legends label on it. So there's a bit of concern because I did hear somewhere a rumor about Knights of the Old Republic being remade. And so that's a bit of And these also don't say that Revan and Malak are from KOTOR and the Shadow Troopers from The Force Unleashed. So they don't reference where they're from, which might be a pop thing anyway, exactly. Because people who collect the pops theoretically should know, you would hope. But yeah, it's a bit like the Stormtrooper Commander. If you get that one, I would hope you know that it's from The Force Unleashed. But yeah, there's a thing where I go, are they in some way just gonna co-opt these characters into the new canon somehow, which I'm not a fan of. But it's a valid point worth bringing up, because if they start doing that, I'm gonna have to be even more picky with what new EU figures that I try and get. Because, I mean, I won't stop a certain disposition towards the new canon from me wanting to get some EU figures or whatever. But I don't approve of them taking the stuff from the EU when they could have just continued the EU. Even a novel adaptation or comic adaptation of the canon story for Knights of the Old Republic. Boom. I would buy that. We've got the novelizations for The Force Unleashed and the comics. So what about The Force Unleashed 3? I would buy that. Boom. Continue the EU that way. And very much, I think, a thing of, from new canon, and with a clean slate of a timeline, and I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, is that they can put new ideas and take the universe in a different direction. Now, you may not be keen on said direction, but that's a benefit of decanonizing the EU and starting fresh with just the movies. You can put a different spin on the movies from the content surrounding it. You can go a different direction in the future, and while I may not be as keen on that direction and the way that they set up the lore, that's still valid as an option for people that do like that. But what I don't like is them decanonizing the EU and then going, oh, we're just gonna reuse what's in the EU to get us money because people aren't actually that keen on what we're doing otherwise, so let's just fart out some stuff that you're gonna do and people will like it and buy because they go, oh, EU. But yeah. The rumour about Knights of the Old Republic, by the way, was that it would then be remade. KOTOR 1 and 2 would be remade, but changed story-wise to fit the new canon, which again is a thing where I go, well, no. I just stopped following that thread of rumours. I did hear about it. But yeah, these figures, cool, we got them. Bobbleheads, yay! These might have a place somewhere on my desk or something. Try and figure that out. That'd be good. So, that's pretty much my thoughts on those. I don't like this idea that they don't put the Legends brand on it, because anything EU should have the Legends brand on it when it's released after the decanonization date. Apart from the exceptions, like SWTOR was already out, Son of Dathomir was not changed at all, and it was still released by Dark Horse, so it's sort of part of both. This is based on a Clone Wars episode that wasn't released as an episode, and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. And then the other things are just like, well, Marvel 108 was labelled. You're labelling the Epic Collections. Why you not label these? Anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment. Let me know what you think of these as well. And what you think about the... That's really the only concern I have with them. They're great figures as far as pop vinyls go. They actually put some effort into them, like with the semi-transparent Shadow Trooper and the backhanded second lightsaber for Revan. And they picked a nice pose for that. And I think they're good because they look unique. Because Revan, Malak with his jaw, Revan with his mask, and of course the Shadow Trooper with his helmet looks more unique than just the normal faces that have these weird looking eyes and stuff for the pops, in my opinion, of that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more EU content as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Eerie!